cross member, I need to move the steering rack forwards about 20 millimeters. The reason for doing this is to save having to use offset rack spaces, which have the problem of bending the steering rack on full lock when hitting the ripple strip. I've already adjusted the cross member to use the stock 2J engine mounts. So I guess the first step is going to be to get it out and make a jig. Okay, I've got the shed set up in mess making mode so the dust doesn't get in anything important, because now I have to cut these parts off, maybe cut it through here. Not quite sure the best way to do it. Figure it out in a minute. But the next step is to make a jig, some brackets that go onto here and here, and then you can jump forwards 20 millimeters so I know that these will be in the right position. So I've made up these pieces of RHS now that fit where the subframe, the cross member used to, or still does, go into the car. I've put holes in a normal position and 20 mils forwards so that they can just be bolted on in either of the two positions. First one, when I weld this all together, basically build the jig. The second one, once this is all cut off, I can shift 20 millimeters forward. With reasonable accuracy, it'll be in the right spot. To make sure it's accurate, I made bushings up. Basically, the bushings mean that there's no play in any of these when they're installed. Alright, so the next step, I bolt this all together, rigid, and then some RHS across here, up to here. Make sure it's not going to foul. I want to move it forwards and weld it up. So last night I got up to the stage of welding this bit on, to hold these pieces in place on the jig. Unfortunately, the battery went flat in the welding helmet, so I did some more today. What was it though, is I finally got in and finished uploading my first video. It's probably a bit crap, but still pretty happy that I got in and did it. So hopefully this next one will be a bit better. Anyway, I'll weld these bits on. I have to make up some bits to go up to there, weld those on, and then I've got a jig. I'll start cutting these pieces off. Okay, so I got it welded in a fashion. Some pretty rough welding, but it's only got to hold it there. I'll just wait for it to cool down now and then see if it springs. If it springs, then I'll bend it till it fits on there properly. Then after that, cut these pieces off, scallop them out somehow, and then move a 20mm forwards, then weld it all back together. Then it'll be done, finally. This bit in the front, I scalloped out for the sump of the 2J because it was hitting it because of how far back it is. What I did is I just cut the existing bit of metal off down each side, then flipped it upside down and welded it back in. Worked pretty well, and then just filled those bits in with some random bits of sheet metal and ball peen hammer. That hasn't sprung too much tight in the bit, but not even close enough to worry about it. No, it's nothing. Excellent. That's going to work. Okay, next, grind those pieces. Okay, ran out of memory, or battery went flat, or hit the 15-minute limit or something. But after making a huge mess, finally got this piece to come off. Made a fair few extra cuts into the bits I didn't want to get there, but that's what the weld is for. Okay, I've just used Control Z and undone all that carnage I did before. Took a little while, but there's a bit of a base there now for me to cut back these other bits. Put the jig back on there, weld it and do the rest of the tidying up. Okay, so I've got the jig sitting there to see how I went notching that one out. These holes are the ones that are drilled 20mm forward, because that's how far I want to move the rack. So they're pretty close to lined up with the cross member. These ones on the piece I was working on are pretty well lined up with the holes, and that's in a position pretty close to being able to weld. I did take way too much out of there, but I wasn't taking into account that angle. Bit of a dickhead mistake, but I'll fill that back in. The rest of the way around fits okay. It's a bit hard to see with the light, but I'll probably fill it with silicon bronze so I can jam a fair heap of it in there, take up some pretty big gaps and not put too much heat into the rest of it while I'm at it. Yeah, I think that's going to go alright. Let's try and do a bit better job on the other side and then nearly done. Alright, I ran out of power file belts. Well, there's one on there, but there's not much left of it. It's 9:30, so noise restrictions are in. Tried to use the files for a bit, but they suck. This side's nearly on though. Pretty big gap underneath. I think I bent that bottom piece, smashing it off with a hammer before. So I'll probably bend that back up. Do some more filing or power filing tomorrow to get it all to fit properly. Gap up there will close up once I've filed it a bit more. Yeah, that gap down there's a bit of a worry, but I'll bend it up as far as I can. Then I'll pack it out, weld it up. See up here I've got bolts in, and all of these are lining up pretty well. So it's going to go. So I've got some fresh power file belts. And get into it again. These ceramic ones are heaps better than any other that I've found.
But still I fear that nothing's changed. He simply does not understand. Come with me, I'll set you free, and I'll show you what your life can be. You can see that I am free. My life is mine, not yours. So leave me be.
So I finished fitting up the other side. It's not going too bad. I bent the bottom up and then down and then up and then down a few times until I got in the right spot. It's not too bad gap wise now. I'll probably cut a bit of, not sure if I'm going to use a tiny round bar or some 4mm sheet to fill these holes in a bit. I'll weld those to the bosses themselves. Patch them up first and then silicon bronze those pieces onto the rest. I'm happy with this side now. Just cut up a little bit of, I think it was 3mm sheet, fitted it in there. The bits that I didn't quite get right, I built up with weld.
I've left the memories of a youth behind. I don't know what he hopes to find. In the shadows he waits for me, for a dream that cannot be. Come with me, I'll set you free.
Another little bit of sheet metal, a lot of filling with weld, but I'm happy with that now. Same on the other side. I'll bolt it all together now and weld it up.
I'll set you free, and I'll show you what your life can be. You can see that I am free. My life is mine, not yours. So leave me be.
A whole heap of unexpected fettling later, and it's now pretty good. I think I can stick it together now. Everything lined up, all the bushes went in, so I'm happy with that.
I pull the knife I've concealed.
finished brazing it. Didn't come out too badly. Haven't really figured out this silicon bronze 100%, but it seems to work well enough for me. Tends to run down hills, so I sort of need to work with gravity with it a bit. I'll wait for it to cool down and then I'll hit it with a wire brush and then think about painting it. Before I paint it, I thought I'd have a look to see if the bushes fit alright. Seems to go in there okay. I want to take a bit out of the bronze in there to make sure. I'll probably do the same down there. And then I should actually check to see if the rack fits. That'd be a good idea. Yep, I'll do that next. So the rack didn't quite fit. About a tiny bit on this one here. I just flat spotted it off. And that seems to sit in there alright. I'm not 100% sure the exact angle it sits on, so I don't have the top clamps at the moment, but I'm certain it's in between there and there, so good to go. If not, take a little bit more off it, should be right. So I knocked a lot of the loose rust and paint off. I don't really care that much how this comes up, so I'm just going to degrease it, then hit it with the pressure planer now, etch prime and some rattle can black, and still surface rust on it in places, but really the amount of time this car's going to be around, I can't see it rusting away. I fired up the pellet heater to dry it out with. This is kind of interesting because I got sick of buying pellets, so I just run it off waste oil now. Just feed it in the top, down the line, in the side. Another dickhead moment. I installed these two fans for painting. They push air into the shed so it can go out the door, or the roller door, to get the fumes out. I thought the dodgy heater was really smoking inside. Turns out pushing the air in from that side with the heater going isn't such a good idea. Of course, the chimney's down there, and that's the air intake. Quick paint, edge primer, because it inhibits the rust a little bit. The rust and black. Good enough. I'll give that about 15 minutes in front of the heater. Smash the acrylic black on there. Finally finished. Got a bit of black paint on there, and I'm actually pretty impressed with how it came up. Covered up most of the rough bits, and it's underneath the engine anyway, so not really gonna see it. If I was gonna change anything, I'd probably be a bit more careful notching that bit out. I'm gonna weld that back in. It's a little bit of a pain, but really it wasn't that hard. But there's probably better ways to do it. Let me know if there is, but it's done now. It's not something I have to do every day, so I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully someone else gets an idea or two out of it, or a laugh or something. If you like it, press the like button. If you don't like it, comment. If there's something I could have done better or you'd like to see, make a comment as well. I've got to figure out what to do next, so that'd be a good suggestion. Cheers.